Hi everyone, here is a video about a January 2020 reading for the world. It's quite prophetic in the sense that it is about future events or events that are happening during this month, and also in the sense that no, that's about it. Uh, anyway, so I will kind of show you the whole reading because I've done an artwork with Laura, and she's done the accompanying, channel music, uh, and so there's so much more to it than just this one image that has been, brought to life through music, and I'd like to share that with you. Because also, the other thing is with conspiracies and secrets and shadows, like they have a will of their own to be revealed. That's the truth. The truth just wants to be both sought, but also seeks to be found. And here I am. So this reading had quite an Egyptian theme to it initially, and I will begin with the first image. So I've started off with seeing this energy flowing up a large obelisk, and at that time I didn't really know that the obelisks were particularly Egyptian. I'd seen one, I think, in France or London. Maybe I've seen them both, but they are Egyptian. And so I saw this energy flowing up, and and the obelisk almost looked like this petrified ray of sunlight. This creative source made into stone, and anyway, it looked like it was reactivating, or this energy was working from the Earth's surface towards the heavens. The next image I saw was this one here, depicting the topmost, well, instead of the topmost point of a pyramid, it was almost a orb or sphere of light, and exploding, like it was this explosion of light, and it reminded me of the all-seeing eye that you see on the, what do you call it? The dollar bill, the American dollar bill, and it's called the Eye of Providence, and it represents, at least from God, like in looking at on Wikipedia, as I have to do. Like I have to do my research. Like God's continuous upholding of the natural order. So a light, and from this light at the top of the pyramid, it snaked its way down, flowed its way down towards the sand, kind of near it, and the Earth's surface. Then my vision entered me into a tunnel inside the pyramid, which is quite shamanic too. Like there's always tunnels and going in holes in trees into the earth, but this was inside a pyramid, or this pyramid, and also while researching, it turns out that the Pyramid of Giza had a empty chamber. So, and that's where this tunnel ended up leading an empty chamber. And so I thought, what's the deal here? You know, like, so when I'm channeling, when I'm receiving these images, the Adam personal self kind of steps aside, but he's kind of just viewing the information that's coming through. And so, you know, Adam Me said, what's happening in this room? And then as soon as I asked that question, I saw these serpents, what looked like consuming a veil around an entity in the tomb. And then I thought, oh, okay, so is this a pharaoh, like being unraveled or something to that effect? I'm not exactly sure. But it was, I was watching that type of process, that type of reanimating, rebirthing process. Next image was, it looked almost like a hydra or a many-headed serpent entering the Earth's atmosphere from the upper world, or entering the middle world, I should say. But I think it was just a few of these serpents entering our, you know, main three-dimensional plane of existence. And next image, and next image, like, I remembered reading somewhere in mythology that there was I should Google snakes and serpents in Greek mythology. But look, are you willing to wait half a second? No? Okay, I'll keep going. Summons... Oh, okay, then the next image is summons a powerful light being. So there's figures prostrate, and they're raising this large-scale being of light back into the earth. And then there's priests linking arms, holding the energy together. So yeah, they were holding this channel for the light, and then then that light just got bigger and bigger and entered the center of the earth. And then I saw a body awakening, so a physical body awakening, and a volcano exploding. And it's at that point that it did remind me of another reading I did for Kalaya, which I'll direct message you this video later, and her experiences of a lifetime in Lemuria. And it went along similar themes of how that civilization ended by people trying to force reincarnate, or trying to bypass the part where their soul goes back to the life between lives, between, you know, heaven, and you know, and come back from the dead as exactly the same soul, but in a controlled way, or at least planning out their life, or the continuation of their life, planning out the continuation of their life, while they're already incarnated. The next image, I thought, oh, this is interesting. This is very contemporary. Like I saw it was beneath a mountain, so it was on the mountain side, and at its base, an underground or concrete bunker. It looked very kind of military, and then I was thinking, oh, it's getting a little bit conspiracy theory or top secret, and like my viewpoint was I was kind of flying in, and it was semi-photographic, or even completely photographic. And when I see something that's semi-photographic or completely so, I know it's something that has happening or is happening well and truly in the middle world, in the here and now, or it definitely will happen, or it definitely has happened. That kind of reality-based thing. Whereas when it's more visionary, we're getting into the spirit realm. No less real. However, it's using my vision to share the workings of spirit. Now, the next image I saw was this is what I wrote: a female deity looking through a portal or window into the bunker. Something attempted in Egypt, and or are doing again. So there was this sense of man-made incarnation, but this time it was technology-assisted incarnation, and it was like when I floated in onto this bunker. Here's the female deity floating here, and it's beautifully shown in the animated artwork of myself, and further expressed sonically with Laura's music. It was almost like it was a point of view of hers, like I was seeing through her eyes. And when she was floating down, she was, well, initially I just saw a being of light, and then the more I focused on this being that was at the front, I realized it was her flowing hair behind her. And there was hundreds, if not thousands, of souls who were very devoted to this female deity who we now feel and know to be the goddess Isis. And I also got this very strong motherly feeling around her. Around this deity, and it turns out that Isis is the deity of motherhood, and also bringing back Osiris. There's this bringing back the dead, which is very appropriate for this. And I also got this sense that she was visiting this place. Resurrection. There's the right word. Resurrection. She wasn't doing it, but re-illuminating a corpse's light body. Oh yeah, okay. So, which brings me into the next image of what she started looking at in this bunker, and it was on a, like, it looked like a steel surgeon's table, and but a person's life force. There was a figure there, but their life force was aglow, and I wrote, "What cheating the veil, death, the natural order being manipulated," and uh, and I also wrote like the sense of the space, like this underground scientific bunker. I wrote Hydron Collider. Um, Underground, top secret, playing with around with forces that we don't entirely understand. Um, and maybe don't understand the consequences of manipulating, or conditioning certain forces to our desire. um, and yeah. So the next image, large esoteric, oh no, large, yeah, esoteric nature-based beings, um, herding in more large light beings, secret society, occult, summoning. So that's them here. And so a lot of mystery schools seem to be based around ISIS and um, uh, that sort of thing. And and sometimes they have a pagan background, for like better words. So that might be where that feeling of nature-based religion is coming into things. Uh, but there was also this sense of that they were summoning these larger light beings into existence, or back into our plane. Now the final image, very interesting. Uh, I'll show it to you first. So I saw almost a large vortex in the sky, and it was a stormy sky, much like it is right now. We've had some. I won't go on too much about the weather here in Australia, but it's been very hot, a lot of fires, and it is bucketing down right now. As far as I know, it's not anywhere near or on the fires, which is unfortunate. But anyway, who knows what the weather will do. Anyway, so there's a stormy sky, and through this stormy sky in the city, yeah, it was also in the city. It was like that playing around with the natural order of life and death, opened up this rift, and pouring down were and up, like it was just this. It was like watching energy go up and down, or like seeing a combined version of the incarnational process, where souls are leaving and coming in, but accelerated, sort of like a time-lapse view of humans, throughout different cultures and countries and ages. And yeah, what else did I write? A rift broke open in time space, with all people from all cultures coexisting, as though by disrupting the life and death cycle, the collective Akasha soul lifetimes were being activated. Yeah, it was a glitch. I want to say in the Matrix, but what I really mean is something was malfunctioning, and just in this isolated um, uh, crevasse in the upper world. Now, different clothing from agency. Yep. Okay. So the last thing I wrote was man's search for immortality. Yeah. Okay. There is, man's search for immortality, but the people seem to seek immortality when they are relating to themselves as a human being, having the occasional human experience, or not at all. You know, perceiving that way anyway, rather than a spiritual being having a human experience. And so it's an over-identification with our flesh and blood cells. The Akashic records in my readings. Oh yeah, I should speak a little bit about the Akashic records in my readings. Usually they're perceived as bodies, or like figurative casings, and in each casing is a lifetime, and normally one or two is selected, and and they're drawn upon for various reasons, such as healing or bringing back dormant gifts, or gifts they already have that explain why they have them. Gifts from other lifetimes. Now, what else was I going to say? The true secrets is cyclical worldview. I'll mention a little bit about a reading that I did also for my New Earth book. I'm pretty sure it was for my New Earth book, because I also started doing one for each country, like a reading for each country in alphabetical order, and I didn't get I did a fair few, but that got put on pause for a few reasons. But anyway, this reading I did for the New Earth book, it was quite apocalyptic or dystopian. Like there's a sense of decay societally, and also in the sense of like it was dark, like it was a nighttime scene, and it was basically showed people being force ejected out of their bodies, like their souls, so another soul can use their body, basically. So it was, and it did have this weird technology thing going on, sort of cyberpunk. Anyway, it was, but like it then went on to. It didn't quite show, like the end of the world, at least as we know it, but it did say like that subsided and moved on to a more nature-based, uh, you know, like like the world was the Garden of Eden, that kind of thing. But there was this picture, there was this image of a goddess, an image of this electric blue um, being, and amongst other things. So yeah, this theme within my future visions, at least for the world. Like, I do readings for individuals, as you may or probably do know, and when I do it for the world, like it tends, like I don't want to end this on a dark note. Like, I believe that all life is about light and love. This is true. However, as I was saying about secrets or suppressed information, it just urges itself through the collective unconscious, through um, individuals, and like whenever, and I say individuals, like, no, not just myself, because like whenever you have like a really good idea, like someone else has that same idea, and so like there's this collective awakening of certain knowledge. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, or even if you're just looking forward to next month's installment of this monthly collaboration with Laura, just let us know. Okay, thanks everyone. Cheers, bye.